So let's get started. Um, First of all, welcome everyone. And I must say, I commend you guys for being here. You know, I always say it is one thing to press the register button for an event that is happening, um, one thing to commit, and the other thing to show up. And the fact that you guys have showed up, you guys are here, that says a lot about you. So just I want you, some of your videos are on, some of them are off, but I want you to just raise your right hand. Just raise it up. Hi, I can see you. Can you raise your right hand up? Yes. And just bring it down and pat yourself on the back. There's something which happens in our brain when we do that. Our brain doesn't know whether we are patting ourselves or somebody else. So do that more often. We don't do that, and we don't celebrate our own successes, our small wins like, turning up for this webinar. So very happy to be there. Jogesh, thank you for inviting me. And what I would say is that, let me share my screen. So first of all, as I said, I'm really happy to see the people playing it full. When I say play it full, that is also the book that I have written with my husband, Kapil. When I say that, I imagine this player which is on the screen. So, just really giving it full, using all your energy, whatever you have to surge ahead in your life. And what I would say is that in the next 45 minutes, I'll take you through the tools and techniques that you can use in your internally in your mind to help you get ahead of others in this time. And I know some of you know me, some of you don't know me, but what I would say is that for the next 45 minutes, just without any judgment, try to absorb as much as you can. Uh, I know you have dedicated your time, you have committed to this 3 hours. Be a sponge, right? Okay, so let's get started. All right, so I'm Shilpa Kulshresht. I'm a career strategist, and I'm a speaker. I speak at various forums. I'm especially really fascinated by women leadership. I have been on radio shows. I have been part of TV shows, and this is the book. This is my baby, mine and my husband. This is something which we wrote last year, played full, and it became a bestseller in both India and Australia within hours of its launch. So something that I am really proud of, and which I couldn't have imagined a few months back. This year, I also got an opportunity to walk the ramp, so get out of my comfort zone, different from what I do, because I was coaching the Miss India Australia contestants before they went on the stage. This is the photo with Stedman, Oprah Winfrey's partner. This year, I got an opportunity to spend some time with him, and my firm has been declared a finalist in Sydney in small businesses for outstanding professional services. So, and this is something which brings a smile on my face. This is my first love, my family. So my husband, Kapil, some of you would know him from LinkedIn, and our 2 daughters. All right, so that's about me. Now, my goal for you today is to help you understand what do you need to do to shine through the fog. I know it's not a very good situation currently, but let's talk about what is it that you can do without the risk of whether it will work for me or not, without that question. Right, so who is this for? So this is for anyone who is worried about the uncertainties in the market. Anybody who is, who is feeling fearful about what is going to come, what will happen few months down the line. It's for every one of them. And for the people who have decided to take control of their life in their own hands, this is for them. Those people who want to turn the job hunt around. And that is what I say, from seeking job to becoming sought after. And there's a huge difference. I'll cover it later. but who want to turn the job hunt around. Those people who want to transition careers, who want to get a new job, who want to make more money, who want to get promotion, who want to open up business, who want to scale their business, who want to explore their passion. Anybody who wants to play it full. And as I said, those people who are here, I know they want to play it full, and you want to work up to your potential despite the external circumstances. And those people who believe that internally what we do with ourselves, that can control, that can overpower what happens externally in our environment, and who are ready to discover their version 2.0. Right. So my past life, I had a regular corporate career, just like you guys. So I have done the way I put it is that I have done every possible education that I could pick up in my small life. So I am a CA, I am a CPA, I have done my BCom, MCom, MBA, all those certifications that we do, SAFe certification, Prince 2, Scrum Master, everything. And I worked for companies like Tech Mahindra, Deloitte, and Westpac. And I ticked all the boxes from the traditional standpoint of success. So work for Fortune 500 companies, been in a leadership role. Obviously, I'm here in Australia. People think Australia is a big deal, but I know it's not. It's just like, it doesn't matter which country you are in. Everything is home. Wherever you stay is home. And I still carry India very fondly in my heart. And personally, having a car, my dream car, dream house, and being successful from the lens of the world, ticked all the boxes. September 2018, I was standing on the road just across my house, and I remember it was around 7:30 p.m. in the evening. I think the winters have finished, but there was a chill in the air. I still remember that chill. In fact, I was shivering.
One thing, Shilpa, before you proceed, if you could put out the connotation so that the drawing and painting on the screen will disappear. There's an option, yeah. On the three dots, yeah, there will be an option to put off. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So coming back to my story. So I was standing there, and there was a chill in the air. And as the vehicles passed by on the road, the headlights, the light from those vehicles, they seemed to mock me in the face. 16 years back, I had started my career as a high flyer, as a school topper, as a national level ranker, several gold medals to my credit. And I started working for a startup. I still remember the breeze with which I would carry myself from one meeting room to other meeting room, carrying my Midas touch. The first customer, so I had the privilege of getting the first certification for the company. It was a startup, getting the first customer, first delivery, all of that. And I was actually on top of my game. It continued for years until sometime down the line, maybe 10 years down the line, I started doing my bare minimum. I remember I would get up at 4:30 p.m. every evening, every single evening. And I remember I used to get really irritated if I had to stay back in office. So 4:30 p.m. sharp, I leave office and I'll come back home to spend time with my family and to do what I still don't understand, but that was my routine. And I was the way I call it. I call myself is I was a successful project manager. I was doting mom, a happy wife, and everything okay. I was balancing it all. Remember how I said that I would get up at 4:30 p.m. to be at home on time, and I didn't realize where my life was going. I had those 4 a.m. thoughts, when all the noises in the world have settled down, everybody's sleeping, and you are just, with yourself. I had that thought about my identity. Who am I? Is that it? Is that my identity? Yes, I was a project manager, but there are hundreds of thousands of project managers. What's special about me? how do I differentiate myself from the colleague sitting next to me, or even from my neighbor? And I had no answer. The answer came that day when I was standing on that road. My company had gone through a restructure. So I was working on a target operating model. Face of Westpac, I was working with several teams, Infosys. So I was leading this initiative with Infosys, Accenture, Deloitte, and Genpact. And I came to know that as a result of the operating model that I had put in place, my name was slipped at the last minute and my position had become redundant. So what happened was that when I started doing my bare minimum, I didn't realize that even though I had a huge paycheck coming into my bank account every month, even though I was quite safe in terms of my project, that monster of balance, the work-life balance that kept hovering around me, and I kept feeding it bit by bit, till it ate up all my excellence. And as I stood on the road there, I was hearing a lot of voices in my head. The voices of my children saying that I'm a wonderful mom. The voices of my friends saying that how great a leader I am and how smoothly I had all my life under control. My husband saying that I am an awesome wife. I had it all. Little did they know that I had no existence outside that personal setting. So I walked back home, I rang the doorbell and my husband opened the door. I sat down with sadness written all over my face. And I told him about the mess that I had landed myself in. And when I finished my story, he said, "That's it." And I was like, no, now you won't even listen to me? Like you don't even have time to listen to my story. And he said, "That's it." I didn't realize, but he was jumping with a certain excitement. He was making a lot of calls. And in that confusion, I took the best decision of my life. I signed up for a coach, something that was quite foreign for me. And with the help of that coach, I started finding my missing pieces. I always had that. I just lost them along the way. And while I was in that mid-career, where I stood, I started building my pieces all together again. And I got the 19-year-old with that Midas touch. Today, I work with people across the globe to help them elevate their lives, to get to the next level, to find the job that they have always dreamt about, to explore their passion, to open businesses, to scale them up. I work with people across 7 countries. September 2018, when I took control of my life, despite the external circumstances, that was when I walked away. And this is what I did. So February 2019, I was a project manager, good mom, happy wife. In flat 1 year, I was an international best-selling author, an entrepreneur, an influencer, speaker, ardent enemy of the average game because I had been part of it. So I became a huge enemy of it. Career and life strategist, and I was on a mission to impact millions of people. Much happier mom and wife, and with 100 times more energy. And while I'm here today with you all, the point that I want to emphasize is when the circumstances are bleak, when there's fear, when there's uncertainty, when you are at the bottommost in life, that's where you have the opportunity to shine. The gladiators, this is the time for them. So now I'm going to take you through 5 essential ingredients that you can utilize at the current time to shine through the fog. And before I get to it, let me take you through some instances. Like, for example, my redundancy. My redundancy, it was the fog for me. I couldn't see what was beyond it, but I made it the light. And I'll tell you, even when you plan everything, and this is for the people who feel that the current situation is out of control. I'll tell you, even when you plan everything perfectly to the nth degree, things go wrong. So I planned my redundancy. September 2018, they told me that my position is becoming redundant, and I had 5 months to plan. And people will say 5 months are a lot, because I was working on a critical project which I had to deliver. So I planned it perfectly well, and I saved money, built up the bank account. I got a good money because I was working with that company for 9 years, and I came out of my corporate life. Now, within 2 weeks, there was something which happened that pushed me further down. My tenant, so I have a property here, and my tenant decided to create a problem for me. So he dumped asbestos in my property. Now, for people who don't know, dumping asbestos anywhere, it's an illegal thing. And I had to I ended up spending $131,000 to clean that up. I don't even remember how many tons of soil it was, where asbestos was mixed, but I had to get that all clean. And the money that I had in my account before I started that was $150K. So 131K gone out of that 150K, only $19,000, all foreground, right? I had to build my life with that. My husband has left his job just a few months back. And so the business wasn't doing, like, it was in the initial stages. It was not enough to pay for itself. But I decided to make it work. He decided to make it work. And together, we took a loan from a friend and we started our journey. Flat 1 year, we are much above the corporate income which we used to make together, and which is not less. It was 400K at the time when we were working. And in just 1 year, we were able to give that loan and make substantial money. The reason I'm taking you through these circumstances is it is easy to give up when life pushes you. But it is only those people who have confidence in themselves, who try to leverage their internal power, they are the ones who can make it work. Now, let's go to the first essential element. So tell me, how happy will you be if there's a person who's controlling your life, and the only thing that person tells you is what is wrong with you, what mistakes you have done in the past, what is it that you suck at? How many of you will be happy with that? I know it is not easy for us to communicate through the chat, which I love, but I understand. So I'm assuming you'll not be happy. But that's what has been happening in your life. There's a person for whom life has been hard, who has learned some hard lessons, who has been betrayed, who has been ridiculed, who has been cheated. And that person gets up every morning. That person gets up, switches on the news, watches it every day for 2 or 3 hours, sees how bleak the circumstances are. There's no hope, there's fear, everything is, foggy, can't see a direction, resigns at the end of the day, and feeling helpless, goes back to sleep. And I'm sure you know who that person is. Your current thinking paradigm, it's limiting you in ways that you don't even realize. And I'll give you an example. So when I was working for Westpac, I had this person who used to sit on the same floor, far away from me. And as I'm saying, imagine him, because this is exactly how he was. So this person would be sitting there. He would be sitting in the meeting room as if he's about to commit a mistake. He would always be doubtful of what he's doing. He would be worried that somebody will point out his mistake. And because he was from a service company, he had his service company manager and he had the Westpac manager. And he used to be literally torn apart between the two. And anybody who would see him, they would say, what, is that even a life? Nobody would want to live that life. And he started with me. He became a client few months back, actually 2 months back. And while we started working on with him, and he realized the devil inside him that is not allowing him to grow. As he accessed his inner power, you won't realize that he started blossoming. He started blooming. And the people in his company, just within 2 months, this I'm talking about 2 months, and I'll talk about all the real life scenarios here, whatever examples I'll give. In flat 2 months, he was somebody where confidence was oozing out of his body. Every step he took, that's what was happening. And that person who used to really carry his bag like this and enter the office, this person was standing tall and entering the office as if he's there to kill it all. He's there to rock it. So, and what happened was, not only did he conquer where he was working, that project in which he was, like he just became rock solid there. People started questioning him, what has happened? How have you changed suddenly? But they didn't realize that he had tamed that devil inside. Not only that, that person, 1.5 weeks back, he has signed a contract with another company. So that contract will lead him to 55% more salary than what he was, 55% more money than what he was making in his previous company. And that's what happens. A lot of times we think it's the external circumstances. External things stay the same. We can't control them. It's ourselves that we can control. So that devil, you should look at the devil in the eyes. In fact, where that devil stays, that stays in our hindbrain. So just tell your hindbrain, that devil in your hindbrain, tell him it's gonna be all right. I'm trying to do things differently. Do not worry. Everything will work out. And once you tell your hindbrain this, your hindbrain is going to listen to you. Your hindbrain is not against you. It is just worried about the risk that you are taking. And when you do things differently, you have to just whisper it to him and it will settle down. So do not worry about the external circumstances. Tame that devil and keep walking ahead. Do not stop. All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to, yeah. Good enough. So when you meet your friends or family after a long time and they ask you, how's life? What do you say? What do you say? Do you say it's good? Do you say, yeah, chal rahi hai, it's going on, good enough? You know that this year he will not be able to afford that luxury holiday. You know that every single Monday morning sucks. You hate getting out of bed and to go to that job which is much below your potential. And still you say good enough. You know that you're not going to get that promotion this year. You know that your manager does not see you as a star that you think you are. And still you say good enough. You know that weekend that you have been waiting for, that weekend is not going to be any different from the last weekend that you had, or from the 52 weekends that you have been living so far. Still you say good enough. You know that if you tell your children to play it full in their lives, in their school, they are going to turn back and ask you, are you playing it full? Still you say good enough. What is this good enough life, guys? Good enough is just mediocrity. And we allow ourselves to be part of that mediocrity. And I'm telling you, because I've been there and I know it really hurts. I was living a good enough life, good bank balance, house, car, everything that I thought is essential for me. And I was kicked out. I was made redundant. Actually, the word that I use is made redundant. I didn't become redundant. I never wanted it. But somebody outside took decision for me and threw it, splashed it in my face. And I had to bear the circumstances because I was living a good enough life. And I settled for it. And I'm telling you people, good enough, you need to check your life. Is it good? Is it good enough? Or is it outstanding? No matter where you are, whether you have a job today, whether you do not have a job today, whether you are eyeing that promotion, whether you are not, you feel that you're not working up to your potential, look for that good enough thing. And I had this, I knew somebody since 11 years because his wife was a colleague of mine for 11 years. And this person would always come to me for tips and advices. And I was always puzzled. Why do things not work for him? It will work for me. It will work for everybody else. But whatever I told him, it didn't work for him. And I was really puzzled. And that puzzle got resolved when he joined me in January. So he's a mentee, and within a week, we nailed down what his problem was. The problem was that in his life, there was no problem. There were no challenges. There were no limitations. There was no excitement. There was no growth and no real happiness. Imagine being a person for whom neither defeat matters nor victory. And when I say that, I don't know how deep you find this statement. This is a statement which hurt me here in my heart. It went straight through it because that was the kind of person I was. I was deep in mediocrity. And that person today, as he understood his problem, as he understood what his life was part of, that average game, that person is now killing it. He's rocking it. His smile is back. He looks like, he has hero kind of look. Actually, he looks like Akshay Khanna. He looks like Akshay Khanna. So everything is back. His shine is back. The coldness in his life, that's all gone. And do not tell me that mediocrity, it's there in professional life but not in personal life, or is it there in personal life not in professional life? You're just one person. So you cannot really compartmentalize your personal life and professional life. It's one person. Either you are mediocre or you are not, and you are the best judge of it. Kill that mediocrity, murder it, remove it from your life, and you'll see that these circumstances, they will not matter at all. Poor cousin. A woman, imagine a woman, and again, real life example, a woman with 2 children, staying with her in-laws, husband away in another country. And this woman is managing not 1, not 2, but 3 businesses. It was a big task, a huge deal for me to work with her. She would not turn up on time. She would, postpone our coaching sessions. She would not take action. She always thought that she was time poor, and she was so much stuck up in the routine. Those people. So I can't see how many people are there on the webinar, but my experience is normally 60% of the people turn up in these webinars. 60%, 70% due to coronavirus probably nowadays, but for rest of the people, they are time poor, or that's how they perceive themselves, and they will always be time poor. Nothing can be done about them. So this woman, when she started working, I realized where the problem was. And once we got her priorities right, once we got the focus right, she started taking massive actions. And you know what massive actions lead us to? Massive results. She has signed up 9 clients. For those of you who are in business, you would know what it means to sign up 9 clients. She has signed 9 clients since then. And if you still feel that you are time poor or you are at a disadvantage as compared to the other people, know that each of us have got 24 into 60, 40 minutes in a day. And I understand that about 10 hours, 600 minutes are spent in doing, sleeping, eating, traveling, and all those things. Maybe a little more in traveling, depending upon the place that you are at. But the remaining 840 minutes, it depends upon how you want to utilize it. You are the owner of your time, and you can either decide to spend it on TV, Netflix, news, all that, all that. I've got friends who send me all this information about coronavirus, how it is showing up in various areas, dissecting the information this way, that way, all that. How does it matter? Why to waste time on that? Just take care of yourself. Be a responsible citizen. Stay at home. Make sure that you have full control on your family or whoever is, if at all, coming to your house, the vendor or anybody. Have full control on it, and that's it. Control what you can. So that hamster wheel life that we are part of, where you're always running, you need to see how long do you want to run. And we all are jugglers, and that's how I describe life to a lot of people. We are always juggling with our job, career. I consider both as different. You may not. So job, career, family, weekends, paying the bills, holidays, lot of other things. We are always juggling, and it never stops. Imagine the pressure that it creates on your body while you're juggling. And this time, when the world is slowing down, when there is an opportunity for you to get a bigger ball in your portfolio, that ball, that priority, that focus that really matters, you need to get it in. You need to add it to your portfolio, and you need to better manage your time. And I'll give you just a simple framework on how to manage your time in the current scenario. Firstly, look at the things that are your priority, that you really need to focus on, that you are passionate about, that you love to do, that you enjoy doing. Those things, those are your musts. Then there would be those things that you would be doing as a matter of habit because you've been doing it for years, but they are not at all required. You need to just kick them out of your life. Kick them out, remove it, eradicate it. Not required. You need to look at the things that you do and eradicate that second part. The third part, there would be things that you don't enjoy doing. They are really, you can really automate them. You can delegate them. You can delegate them to someone who can do that job better, who is really passionate about that and who would love to do that. So if you can do these 3 things, I can promise you that time will not be an issue for you. I can bet on that. And I'm telling this from experience. Somehow magically, and I work with the CXOs and people of that caliber, they all come with that busyness. And somehow magically, they are always able to find time. So look for it. Money poor. How many of you feel that always you are little behind how much money you need? Always that the money is not enough or a little less than what you would like to have, or maybe too much less, but always you feel that you are behind. I'm sure most of you feel like that. And you know what? We defer important decisions because we feel that we do it when we'll have money. Remember that I'm just thinking, what was that movie? Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. That movie, they say, kar lenge. plan hai, and that never happens. It just stays in the plan. You need to figure out what is it that you want to invest your money on. And I'm telling you this because I have lived my life like that, worrying about money. I am from a lower middle class. My dad was a professor, and what I learned when I was small was I need to save every penny for those rainy days. I didn't realize that I can invest that penny to get 100 times more return than what, than what I'm making. Saving doesn't help. Investing in the right things helps. So remember, if money is your excuse for not doing things, you need to check it out. Money is actually a conduit to create more wealth tomorrow. And that's how you should remember it. And whenever you make an excuse about money, and I call it an excuse, excuse my language if you don't like it, but it is an excuse. And this is the reason we give, because we do not want to do certain things. Imagine when you are getting up in the morning and you want to go to the gym and you don't want to go. What will you do? You'll figure out a lot of reasons for not doing it. It's raining, I slept late yesterday, or maybe, tomorrow I'll go, it's Sunday tomorrow, or maybe there's too much work, or I'll go in the evening. You'll figure out 10,000 reasons. Reasons are for not doing things rather than for doing things. So next time you give a reason to yourself for not doing something that you should be doing, just check that. Just check it. Just check it. You are doing that because you do not want to do the things. So remember, money is a conduit to generate wealth in the future, opportunities in the future, and you should know where to invest it. Do not be scared about investing. It is in abundance. Somehow, and you will see that once you start, and as I was saying, I am from a middle class family and I was always saving pennies. But what I realized was once I committed to something, no matter whether I had money or not, somehow magically it will appear. Like I'll find the source or the funds to fund it. So the problem is your commitment. Money is not a problem. If you're not able to commit, there's something else there, but not money. Right? So after money, what it comes to is being a lone ranger. Do you think you can walk alone? I'm sure you can, but do you feel comfortable doing that? When you are trying to live a different life. And the reason I keep saying different is because in the current scenario, we need to do things differently. Are you walking the path alone? That's a question you have to ask, because there are successful people out there who have already done it. There are people like Jogesh. There are other people that you would know in your proximity, people you would be following. They know what works, what doesn't work. They have made mistakes. They have had some learnings, leverage their experience, leverage those learnings. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot do it alone. You can definitely do it. But why spend 5 years in doing something that you can, just do in 2 months? That person that I talked about, who was scared, who was doubtful, that person could have continued like this for another 5 years, or maybe till the time he retires. But he decided to do things differently, and he decided to hold hand of someone who has done it. And each of us started someday. The successful people there, they also started someday. They understand how it feels. They understand how it is to walk that path. So hold the hand of that successful people. Your journey will become much more easy. When I started my journey, I found out I found a coach whom I could afford. And the return that I got was a little more than what I invested. And as I continued on this growth journey, and I realized how important it is to get the right mentor with you, the right person with you, I got a coach for myself that I couldn't afford. That coach, he is, for those of you who know Tony Robbins, I'm a huge follower of him. He is a direct mentee of Tony Robbins. He just came from, he was at his house a month back. So obviously you can estimate how much money I would be spending on him, something that I couldn't afford. But the fact is, and I'll tell you, you will be blown away by what happened when I got him as his mentor, as my mentor. In flat 8 weeks, I was able to make 10 times the investment. So when you are there on this journey to find a job, to grow in your career, find the right person for yourself. And only when you take drastic steps, you are going to get drastic results. I told you about that person who is getting 55% more money than what he was making. There's another person who started with me just before the coronavirus situation, and I'm taking mine as an example because I'm trying to bring out my experiences. But consider it as any mentor, any mentor that you would like to take. But when this person started, I think about 1.5 months before the coronavirus situation started, this person wanted to find a job. And those of you who follow me on LinkedIn, I had put this story some months back. He had to leave his job. He was working for Cognizant, and he had to leave his job for circumstances beyond his control. His father died, and he had to go back to India to take care of his mom. And for a year, he didn't find a job. And this person came to me, and this is what I like about the people who want to live their life differently and who are fast decision makers. Within 20 minutes, he signed up for the coaching. And when this situation arose, all this current frenzy, he decided to pivot. And today, he is working on a home automation business. So he discovered his passion. He started creating options. Job market is difficult. So while he's looking for job, he started being creative, and he's working on a home automation business today. And as compared to the $6,000 a month that he was making, he's now making $12,000 a month. So be creative. Be creative. Other example I'll give. So there was this woman who had come to me, and this is not a recent. This was about I think 8 months back or something. This woman had come to me because of, again, unfortunate circumstances. She shifted from one city to another city, and the company that she was working for, they had to let her go. And she was looking for a job for 6 months, couldn't find it, couldn't get even a single interview call. In fact, not even, she couldn't even pass that middle step of the recruiter in between. She couldn't even get past that. And when she came and she started working, I realized where the problem was. And it's not always the resume, it's a lot of other things. People spend so much money on resume without realizing that the problem is somewhere else. Within 3 weeks, she not only got the interview call, she cleared it, she rocked it, absolutely rocked it, and she got the job that she wanted. This review, this feedback is there in my LinkedIn profile if you want to see. Her name is Sonia, and she has written it in her recommendation that that's what happened. So it is easy to hold somebody's hand and walk the path. Leverage, the power of leverage, I can't overemphasize it. Leverage your network. And leverage doesn't mean that you try to extract things from people. Add value, give as much as you can, because when you give, tomorrow when the need arises, not that you are looking for that day, but tomorrow if the need arises, people will be doing anything and everything to help you. So leverage your network. The fifth and the most important part, develop your internal power. The external circumstances, never they'll be in control. As I said, no matter how much you plan, life will always throw surprises. Life will always throw things on us. It will land us in problems. But how we not react, but how we respond to them defines how far do we go. So there are two kinds of, there are two aspects of every situation. One is external, one is internal. Use your internal power to actually create the results that you want. Situation is bad, very bad. Everything is uncertain. I totally get it. But do not give up. It is going to work provided you give up all the traditional ways and try to, just understand how the market is operating and start doing things differently. Start creating, options for yourself. Forget everything which is outside your circle of control. Coronavirus, you can't control it. You can only control yourself and your house. Whatever the job market is, you cannot control it. You can only control your own job, your own promotion, your own money. That's all you can control. So concentrate on that. Create options for yourself. Remember, I took that example of the person pivoting and getting into home automation. Money is flowing in. His money didn't stop, but became double. Now, I'm not saying all of you would want to, quit 9 to 5, and I'm strictly against it. I think 9 to 5 is great for people. There are some people, some of my own friends who love being in the job, and I help people who are in the job to get to the next level. So whatever you like, create options. Do not put all the eggs in the same basket. This is a timeless wisdom, so do not create options for yourself. Do not put all eggs in the same basket. Think about transitioning your career. If the current thing is not working out, and if you want to get to something else, now is the time. Yes, it will be difficult. It will take a little longer than what it would have taken. But because everything is slow, why not utilize that time? Start working towards it. Explore your passion. There's no better time than this to explore your passion. So, in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that work towards what you can control and leave everything outside your concern, outside your control. Personal branding. Now, there are three things I'm going to talk here, which you can do in the current circumstances. Branding. LinkedIn, gold mine, an absolute gold mine, absolute gold mine, and people don't realize it. Utilize this time, whether it is for your passion, whether it is to get that next job, whether it is to get the promotion, whatever you want to do, whether it is to transition careers. Branding. Now, no matter, like, consider it like, even if I'm selling Amrit, I know things are working for my mentees. I know my mentees are not stopping, they are double winning. But if I don't come to forums like this, Jogesh forum, other forums where I speak, how will the other people know what I'm capable of? How will I tell about my Amrit, my Nirvana to other people? So you need to go out there. You need to be out there in the mud, get dirty, and be seen by the people. Create your brand. Now, a lot of people think that by branding they can create, whatever brand they like. Wrong. Be absolutely authentic. Authenticity is my biggest value, and I'm really proud of it. And it gives me a certain power when I operate with that. So with authenticity, create your brand. Now I'm going to tell you something which you can do when you go home today. Write down on a piece of paper what you think you project to the world, what your brand is. Write it down on a piece of paper, and then call up three people who know you well. They can be your colleagues, they can be your friend, or even somebody in your family, whoever knows you well, and ask them what do you think, what do they think about your brand, and then compare the two. And if there's a gap, you know what you have to work on. And I really encourage you guys to do this exercise today. After this webinar, do this and find out what's the gap. Massive action. Massive action is the key. It is the key to surge ahead in life. And when I say massive action, it is not, it is not huge action which, scares you. It is about small, consistent baby steps, not stopping. Because, when you stand in one place, you don't have much clarity about what is there in front. And a lot of people, contemplate between action, clarity. Do I take action first or do I wait for clarity? No, that you won't get clarity unless you take an action. So take a step forward. Do not worry about it being right or wrong. Once you take that step, you'll be able to see a different view. And once you see a different view, you'll be able to, uh, change the direction, go left, right, forward, whatever it is, but keep taking those actions, keep taking those steps. Do not stop. Absolutely, absolutely important. Third, and this is the third golden nugget, in this time, do things differently to get a different result. If you are struggling, if you feel you are stuck, you should know. Stop doing what you have been doing, understand what is happening, and change the way you are doing things. So one of my mentees, she is transitioning her career. She comes from hardcore finance, and she's moving to the project world. And she realizes that in the current times, job will not be easy. And despite that, she has cracked 2 interviews in the last week. And what she is doing currently is she has started this initiative of virtual coffee. So she's doing virtual. Her name is Lan Wang. You can search for her on LinkedIn. She has started this movement of virtual coffee. And what is objective? Strategically getting connected, being in the eyes of the people that are going to give her the job tomorrow. So this is a strategy that we have built for her. Similar strategy. You may have a different strategy, but think about what is it that you can do things different, that you can do differently. You need to really think about it. Traditional things are not going to work. Video interviews. Do a lot of videos, everything will be on videos. My mentees, why are they cracking it on the video interviews? Because we've got them so comfortable with the videos, that when they go to the video interviews, it is not foreign to them. So no matter how much you suck at your first video, keep going with the videos, one after the other. Put yourself out. Do not worry about what the people say. There'll always be naysayers, but keep doing that. It will build up your brand, and you will get visibility in the eyes of the people that matter to you, that will give you that job. And I don't know if you know the principle of NET. NET is no extra time. So this is a principle that I've adopted from Tony Robbins. Listen to a lot of books. And I say listen because this is something which I discovered a few months back. I used to sit down and read paper books, but I realized that I never get time to actually do it. So the principle of NET is that when you are doing something where your body is involved, but your mind is free, that time you can use to listen to books. I listen to 1 book a week and sometimes 2 books a week. And the same thing my mentees are doing. So expose yourself to a lot of things, expose yourself to a lot of information, and that is going to help. And then 3 levels of mastery, I would tell you. And this is very powerful. You need to really grasp this. There's one step, which is knowledge mastery. All that WhatsApp gyan that you keep forwarding, you and I and all of us, it is great to know it. It is great to see those TEDx videos. It is great to be on YouTube. It is great to be on Facebook, but that is only knowledge mastery. Until you emotionally connect with the outcome that you want, unless you do it, you don't get to the next stage. And once you have the emotional mastery, there's a third step, which is what can get you to the result, and which is physically taking action. 3 stages. Knowledge mastery, do not be stuck there. I know it all. Do not say that. Have knowledge, get emotionally connected to it, and then physically do something about it. Implement it. Unless you're going to implement, it is not going to work. So what I want to finish with is that it isn't the mountains ahead. Most of the time, it's not the mountains that you think you need to climb. It is just a small pebble in your own shoes, and you need to check it out. Take out that pebble and throw it far away. It's not the mountains, it's that small pebble. Here's my LinkedIn profile. For those of you who want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can actually scan. So you can actually scan it. You can take out your mobile and go to camera and scan it, the code. And there's also a link to my free book. If you want a copy of that, you can scan the second code. So thank you very much. And actually, I'm here to take any questions. So how do you want to do that, Yogesh?
Sure. So a couple of questions which I already see in the comment section, and guys, you can keep pouring in. I will moderate the questions. So one of the question, first of all, thank you so much, Shilpa, for sharing these nuggets. I think what I could see is a lot of people would connect with it because this is a phase of transition that everyone goes through. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, you said peak performance. What does peak performance is all about, and how does one tap into that zone, Shilpa?
Right, very good question. Because most of the time we confuse peak performance with, in our career we have got those peaks. We've got that project in which we do really well. We go up the peak, and then most of the time we are low. And those peaks, they keep us going. Most of the time we are down, peak, down most of the time, and then it's the peak. What we need to get to is consistent peak performance, consistently being on top of our potential, leveraging whatever power you have got. And Yogesh, it is not easy to define it, because I'll give you an example. The book that I wrote, I didn't know whether so it both me and my husband wrote it. We didn't know what was possible. We were even apprehensive of the fact whether we can write the book. Yes, we've got some experience, but can we write it? And we went to this seminar by Grant Cardone, and there he was saying, all of you who are writing the book, stop writing the books, finish your book. We came home 5 days flat. We sat down 20 hours a day, and our book got finished. 30,000 words in 5 days. And by any standards, it is not something which is done in a haste. It is getting a great feedback. But that peak performance that I and my husband achieved, we didn't know what it was possible. We ourselves don't know the potential. Unless we commit to big things, you're not going to see it in front of you. So all I can say is that to get to that peak performance, you need to have really high goals. And the more high goals you have, and you keep cracking them bit by bit, one after the other, that's what I call as peak performance.
Brilliant. And as you said, in those 5 days, you actually wrote book. So wasn't there a self-doubt that was going on within as well at the same time?
Actually, honestly, there was no time for self-doubt. Didn't know how we survived, how we ate food, who gave us tea, coffee, probably our daughters did. Don't remember anything other than the book. There was no self-doubt at that time because there was a target in front. And when you have a target in front, so the mistake that most of us do is that we don't commit to a target. And that's the problem. That's where all the doubts come. I said all the reasons. Unless you have a target of 6 packs, you are not going to go to the gym 5 days in a week. You are not going to make it. You are not going to lose 18 kgs in 4 months. It's not going to happen. So when there's a target and when you are emotionally connected to it, physically you are going to do it. There's no place for doubt.
Yeah. One of the questions that was posted is, how do you achieve the emotional mastery, and can you give an example?
Yes, actually, I have a very recent example. So I am doing this program, so a Euphoria program, which is a 6-week program, and there's somebody who runs the professional circle, Sydney Professionals Group, and that person has been part of the program. But somehow I had the feeling only one person in the group of about 20 people who was like a little bit silent. He was not actually taking actions to the extent that I would want him to do. And my every effort to get to him was met with an answer that I'm busy, or I don't know what to talk about and all that. And I knew that there was a disconnect. And yesterday morning, Saturdays, we have our meetings, and Saturday morning, he started sending his assignments, bang, 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 bang. It just didn't stop. And and when the meeting took place, he said that when I saw, so when suddenly he had this realization that he knows so much. He knows so much. What is he going to do about it? And there was a video which I had posted there as part of my course, where I had challenged the people with that. What are you doing with that knowledge? Because most of us, we feel that we know it all. And I've got a lot of friends around me also who feel that I know it all. But it's the same thing, from the Gita to whichever mentor we take in the world, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, everybody, they are saying the same thing. It's the same damn knowledge. We can keep reading it, but if we are not implementing it, it's not going to happen. So when you read it, put target in front of you, and when you have the target, you need to really imbibe it in your system. The target should be big target. If it is not big, if the goal is not big, I don't think that it should be a goal. Big goal, which should be divided into smaller steps. And as you do that, you start relating to that goal, and that's where the emotional mastery happens. And when that happens, then comes the third part of actions.
So, one of the questions that is posted here is how to keep yourself motivated when you are constantly facing failures, be it in interview or otherwise.
Yep, it is difficult, and I would say that firstly, read books, and be part of the right proximity. So masterminds are a great way. So we are all human, and there are times when we feel low. But one of the things that actually I remember, one very good thing that I would like to pull in now is that whenever we feel low, whenever we feel angry, whenever we feel frustrated, cortisol gets released in our brain. That cortisol puts us quite, gives us that low feeling. But that cortisol, it's released only for 90 seconds. Know that next time when you feel low, you should know that only 90 seconds are outside your control. After that, it is upon us how to control it. Because you remember that day when I said that my husband said that's enough. I could have been in that feeling and keep whining, complaining and all that, but decided to snap out of it, whatever way works. Write a post on LinkedIn, make a video, go talk to the people who can lift you up, not the people who would just, sometimes you need a shoulder to cry on. But if you're just crying, just whining and being in that situation, you need to check your proximity. Build a strong proximity around you. Build your family, get that growth oriented culture where you do not have to have time to actually lie down low. It happens, but snap out of it.
Great. Another question. Generally, people have a notion that their knowledge is not enough and have a fear that they lack in comparison to others. Now, the question is how to channelize ourselves and our knowledge, be it little or more, how to get the best out of it.
There's no way to find out whether your knowledge is less or more. And I see a lot of people. So I coach a lot of people, and I see even the CXOs. So there's a CFO whom I am coaching currently. Even they have the doubt, and we feel that we only have that. That doubt will stay till the time you are in that knowledge mastery. And now, because you know those 3 stages, you need to check yourself. Whenever you're feeling that, you are hungry for knowledge, but not for the results. So there's no better way. Learn something, implement it. Yes, you can make mistakes. You might go wrong, but you'll have a better clarity and you'll do it. There'll be learnings from that you will do. The more failures you have, and I'm not saying that you should have failures, but failures are inevitable. But unless you put yourself out there, unless you take actions, you will not know whether your knowledge is sufficient or not. And there's always, like when I started my coach journey, it was really difficult because I had been in corporate, and it was like, what kind of credibility do I have as a coach? But honestly, as I started doing, I realized that I'm learning, I'm implementing, I'm learning, I'm implementing. And I didn't realize when I crossed the, that doubt stage. I don't even remember it now. So just implement. There'll never be enough knowledge.
Sure. Get it. How does one control the mind and narrow down to a single choice of career when you find yourself in a situation where multiple path excites you?
Mm-hmm. So this is something which is coming right from this morning. So I did this for a mentee, and I'll tell you a process, which is a foolproof process. So write down 10 options that your life can take as of they can be in your life as of now. 10 possible options. Now these can be the things that you would love to do, um, and these can be the things that you think that you are capable of, you have experience about. List down 10 things, and for each of those things, evaluate it by three things. One is passion, how passionate you are about it. Second is purpose. Can that be the purpose of your life? Can you see yourself living that life forever? And the third is prosperity. Passion and purpose will not work until you are financially able. It's all dreams. So will it bring you prosperity? And evaluate every option, 10 options. And I say 10, it is difficult to get to 10, but write down every possible thought that has come in your mind. And then evaluate it by these three parameters, get to the top three. And with the top three, combine them. The example that I'm talking about this morning, it was a person, he wants to be CEO in a company, but with the current circumstances, and he's got loads of awards. I don't know what is happening, but it is not easy for him to get his job, and he's without job. But then what we came up with is CXO advisory. He can open a CXO advisory because he wants to be a CEO and he cannot get a job. What is it that he can start doing currently where he can match his dream with the current situation and can get him all the three things? So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. How do we move from being stuck?
Just three magic words. Just do it. Just do it. Just do whatever you think is possible. Whatever. And if you're not able to figure it out, get a mentor. Get a mentor. My life changed after I got a mentor, and I'm sure the life of my clients or Jogesh's clients, that changed after they got a mentor. So get somebody who has already walked the path. You do not want to be stuck there.
And tell us about your book, Play It Full.
Yeah, so my book, Play It Full, is about playing it full in all areas of life. So most of my life, I have lived in a linear pattern that I would do this, and then, then I will do this, then I will do something else. And, what it did for me was that even though I was playing it full in my personal life, there was always a tussle between my work and my family. And what this book is about is you do not have to choose one over the other. You really don't have to. And this small switch, if you can make in your brain today, right now, I would consider my session successful. If you can understand that you can get everything, if you play it full, if you are on top of your game, if you give it 100%, you can make it. When I quit my corporate career, my daughter was in year 12, and a lot of people said, now is not the time. But I had made up my mind. It didn't matter what the circumstances were. Not only I played it full, my husband played it full. Our daughters, they topped the state, 50 out of 50. They just rocked it. So the entire family can play it full. It is upon us whether we want to get that environment in our home. Yeah, that's what the book is about. So yeah, look for it on Amazon. It's getting wonderful reviews.
Absolutely. And one other thing, the book is right here. Let me show you guys. I don't know if you can see. This is a book that I've bought it for myself as well.
Yeah, that's our baby.
Go ahead and grab one copy, guys. And one question which we have Shilpa, is that when you play it full, what mindset do you operate in when you're playing it full?
The mindset is that this the external circumstances which are there, they can be anything, but it cannot stop me. So the way I describe it is like, stand up tall, and you guys should do it. Be in front of the mirror and think about 3 words that describe you. Like, for example, when I look at myself, I say, I'm Shilpa Kulshresht, I am resourceful, I'm action oriented, and I create results. 3 things I say to myself. I do 10 star jumps. It might sound very, stupid, but that's what I do. And if you do it, and if you start doing it every day, at least once, you will see that the external circumstances won't matter, and you will be able to be on top of your game all the time.
Absolutely. And Shilpa, just last question. And I ask you to put the link in the comment section for people to go ahead and grab a copy. Last question. Imagine that this is this is the platform where the entire world is listening to you for entire 1 minute from now.
Mm-hmm.
What is that one message would you want to give in this 60 seconds?
One thing I'd like to say is that action. Action is the key to any success in life. You may feel stuck. You may feel that your circumstances are unique to you. You may feel that, things are against you. You might feel that the world is a bad place. Understand that all those negative feelings that you are having about yourself, about the world, about the people around you, it's your own making. Snap out of it. And I say snap out of it so often because it has become the way of my life. Change your state. Get up, do 10 star jumps whenever you get those feelings, and act. And once you act, you will see that beautifully what you have thought about, that dream that you have, or that goal that is in front of you, that will become so easy for you to achieve. And there's no, like, I don't know what big words to use, but just do it is the magic mantra that I have found, and it works wonderfully for myself and for my mentees. So I think that's simply, I'm a huge fan of simplification, no complicated words, and I think that works.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Put the link in the comment section so that people can grab a copy of your book. I think it's available at Amazon India as well. So if you could put the link, people will be able to grab. And thank you so much, Shilpa, for spending valuable time giving great insights about how one should be tackling the career, the situation that they are into right now. Thank you. Really, thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thanks, Jogesh.
Great.